I have something to say that might surprise you. Maybe you're not stuck. It's just that your mission got bigger. That's what I'm going to explore today in this episode. And today, I'm going to talk about you're not stuck. Your mission just got bigger. Are you feeling tired because you're thinking too much? You're not sure if this is where you should be. Things are feeling off. Maybe you're overwhelmed. Maybe you're frustrated. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to focus. I was sitting in this place. And you may think, if you've been following me for a while, like, well, but Diane, you have all this stuff going on and all this great stuff's happening for you. So how are you feeling stuck? Well, I was a little bit feeling stuck. And if you've kind of followed the sequence here, I'll just let you know some of the episodes that we've had, because maybe you want to go back and listen through some of these. I've outgrown that old version of me. Kill off your alter ego like Eminem killed off Slim Shady. Break free from the chains of your old self and step into who you're meant to be. And then this episode, as I step into You're Not Stuck, Your Mission Just Got Bigger. So maybe if if you've been listening along and you've been thinking, yeah, it's because there's this old part and an old part of me and I'm stuck. But or maybe you haven't been relating. No matter what, it could be that you feel stuck and that you feel like something's wrong. And that's how I was feeling, that something's wrong. Why am I not motivated? Why am I not inspired? All this. Well, one piece of it was, and I need to step into this bigger piece. I need to let go of some older versions of me. But the idea that your mission just got bigger. And so the old version of you, there's this old part that you were doing, but that's part of a smaller plan, a less impactful plan, a less influential plan. And now the plan's bigger and you got more to do. Not more like on your to-do list necessarily, but more impact to make. And how exciting is that? How exciting. Because feeling stuck often signals in us originally something's wrong. We are wrong. We need to fix things. We need to change things. But actually, it's an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity for a shift in not only who you are, but your mission, right? Your vision, your mission, your values, all that, but even just your mission, kind of the path you're on. But if you can I implore you, turn this perceived obstacle of feeling stuck into a catalyst for expanding your purpose, that mission, your legacy, what you're here to do on the earth. It can be professionally, it can be in your personal life, doesn't matter. But the idea that you can change that. And it all comes from that one perspective shift from I'm stuck to my mission just got bigger. Like that gives me goosebumps thinking about that. So I'm going to go through a few of the things around this to help you to maybe just think deeper about it. And we'll see where we end up. This might be the last of this series around kind of the change of self and opportunity and bigger things for your life, or maybe not. I don't know. I guess I'll let you know on the next one. So when you are feeling a little stuck, what kind of emotions do you have? What kind of thoughts do you have? Maybe frustration, confusion, lack of direction. I was in all of those places. No motivation, lack of inspiration, not wanting to do anything, no energy, void of energy. So a lot of dissonance, that like friction was happening. And this feeling, though, is often a natural part of the growth process. Like if we think about even when you are weight training, right? If you're able to lift, let's just keep it small. If you're able to lift, I don't know, do like 10 pounds in the barbells, it's going to be pretty easy. And then you're going to start getting frustrated if you increase the weight. It's going to be frustrating because you're like, oh, I just can't do it how I did it before. Well, the thing is, because you're growing and you're doing better, and eventually you will be able to do it. So these feelings are not a sign of failure. I want you to know that it's just a natural part of the growth process. If you are always able to do things and you're always in a good place, it maybe means that you're not challenging yourself enough or you're not growing enough. So put on that growth mindset and know that this is just normal. So let's reframe the situation. So I encourage you, view the feeling of being stuck as just an indicator. Ah, I have outgrown my current mission. The original scope has now been broadened, expanded. Maybe the impact has been expanded. Maybe the reach has been expanded. So reframing this experience, it can help you to identify new opportunities, new areas for that expansion. So you could ask yourself, okay, what's changed? How is this bigger now? How is my mission bigger? How is the result to be bigger? How is my reach to be bigger? So you're like, is this a bigger mission? Or is this me hitting an obstacle, like a true obstacle that I need support with? Well, here's how you can recognize that bigger mission. So if your bigger mission is evolving, if you look at your current mission, you're going to see, this part's not fulfilling anymore. Maybe parts of it aren't fulfilling anymore. Maybe you're drawing in new challenges that you're like, weighting down. So instead, I encourage you, consider some areas where you've developed some new skills, new passions that could reshape the mission. So I did, maybe 2 years ago now, I did a stand-up comedy class. And so I'm thinking about, how do I now bring comedy, stand-up comedy, into my talks, my workshops, my coaching, all of these different pieces. And so when I thought about, how do I bring in these new skills, it is leading me down this path of this one-woman show. It's really exciting. It's really exciting. And so I see how that small shift in the mission, it's going to lead to greater impact and fulfillment. Fulfillment for me, because I'm now able to bring in a bit of a performance base, not just facilitating, teaching, coaching. It's going to be more experiential. It's going to be me on stage kind of performing a little bit, but also I'm going to be able to have a greater impact on those in the audience because of the different emotional pulls that I can have by bringing in the humor, but then also bringing in the hard truth. So after you say, okay, yeah, okay, I have a bigger mission. I've reframed this situation. I understand that this is normal. I'm just feeling stuck. It's normal. How do I take action, Diane? What do I do? Well, simply just outline the steps that you need to take. So you've got this new mission. What are the steps? So first, just sit in self-reflection and ask yourself, what really matters to me now? Not how am I going to do it, but what really matters to me now? So does women's empowerment really matter to you? Gender parity really matter to you? Diversity and inclusion really matter to you? So what, like, I could go on for years talking about different topics, but you think you know what really matters to you. Then goal setting. Set new goals, ambitious goals. So once you pick a goal, be like, what's bigger than that? And what's bigger than that? And what's bigger than that? And bigger, I mean, bigger in impact, bigger in joy, bigger in you evolving your mission. It doesn't just have to be bigger as in more work, bigger, because you can bring on people to help, right? And then ask yourself around learning and growth. What new skills do I need to acquire? What new knowledge do I want to learn? That's going to help me in this new chapter, in this new mission. What do I need to know more about? So I've been on this path of talking with actors who do one woman shows or one man shows. I have talked to other speakers who have booked out theaters. I have talked to other speakers who have done multiple dates of like almost like a tour for their talks to see how I can make it apply. So I'm grabbing that knowledge and I'm continuing to build my comedy skills by working with a stand-up comedy coach who also does keynotes, right? Who also does trainings and workshops, which is going to help me to be able to bring it into everything that I do. And the last piece here is like around taking action is networking and having mentorship and coaching. So connect with others who can support you. So I already shared how I've been doing that, but people who can guide you through this. And so I have hired a coach to help to guide me through this kind of new version of me, new mission that I'm on, new values, but similar values, but they might just be amped up a bit. So I've hired a coach to support me through that because I can get to places where I feel stuck and I feel frustrated and I just don't know what to take action on next. And so I need someone from the outside in to help me to figure out the hard truth, to pull it out of me, to ask me the tough questions, to provoke me, to push me to get these things out. And that's the way I like it to be done. You might have a different way. If you do want to kind of go through this deeper, you have another coaching topic you want coaching on, please reach out, Diane at dianerolston.com, and let's see about getting you where you need to be. The benefit of actually having someone on to support you is how we need to get through the next piece of this. It's overcoming fear and overcoming resistance to it. Because there will be fear and resistance. It's normal. It's just like the stuck feeling and feeling frustrated. So it's really natural to feel fear and resistance when stepping into a bigger mission, because it's easier just to go back to the old mission, right? And some strategy to overcome these feelings is to just focus on small, manageable steps rather than the entire journey. So right now, I'm not looking at how am I going to do a multi-province cross-Canada tour and then move it into the States? And how am I going to get it funded? And how am I going to get all the people to buy tickets? And how am I going to do that with my family? All I'm doing now is I need to talk to people who have done something similar or something where they would have some information. That's all I'm doing right now. And I need to figure out what this new bigger mission is for me, so that I know what I'm going to speak on that stage about. I have some inklings, but I know that it could be bigger. Also, practice some self-compassion and patience for yourself and make sure the coach that you have is also going to honor that, but not let you wallow in it, right? Like, oh, woe is me. No, you need a coach that's going to pull you forward, but it's going to actually help you. So patience, self-compassion during this transition is so important. If you think of the butterfly or the caterpillar first in the cocoon and then kind of growing into the butterfly and then having to come out of that, it is a weak, vulnerable place. And you are not ready to take on the world in that place. But with the support of someone else and you taking care of yourself, you can do really, really good job there. So I've shared some examples of myself and how I've kind of gone through this. And you can maybe think about how you've seen others, maybe famous people, whose biographies, autobiographies you've read, and how they have kind of gone through this transition. One thing to maybe Google would be philanthropists and their mission, or CEOs and their mission, entrepreneurs and their mission, just to see, right? Or if you know a really good social enterprise or a philanthropic company, to look into how that started. So some of these companies where you buy something and they'll give something to a third world country, or it helps to build schools or dig wells or feed people, maybe look into that and you'll see, learn how they came up with this bigger mission. And you don't have to always be doing these kind of mission style work, but your mission, your legacy that you want in the world. So as I kind of bring this to a close, I want you to remember that feeling stuck is often a sign. It's just a signpost to say, hey, you're ready for a bigger mission, a more meaningful mission. It doesn't mean you suck. It doesn't mean that you're in a terrible place, but you do need support to make sure that this is the right place you need to be. It's just maybe bigger, or you maybe need a full change. And when you do know that you need to change, just embrace the change. Take proactive steps towards your expanded purpose. I know you are so capable of rising to meet this new mission that could be presenting itself to you right now. So I invite you to, after you finish reading this as a blog or listening to this as a podcast on the Dynamic Women podcast, or watching me on the Diane Rolston YouTube channel, pause and reflect on how you're going to start taking action today. And then I'd love to hear about that. And so email me, diane@dianerolston.com. Let me know how this impacted you. Also, feel free, write a review for us. I'd really, really appreciate a 5-star review, just sharing with other people what you got out of this. And if you are one of our fans of the podcast over the past 5 years, thank you so much for trusting me with your time. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, share with a friend, and until next time, stay dynamic and jump on to that bigger mission. Take care.